Ages ago, I gave you a quadratic that has two solutions. So, for example, like this, you have two solutions. And then in the previous few videos, I gave you a quadratic um, where where you where you don't have a solution. So it's like this, and it doesn't actually touch the x-axis. So in this video, we're going to investigate a quadratic where it just touches. So it just touches. So it only has one solution. Okay, so I've given you two scenarios before. One where you have two solutions here, and then another one where you don't have a solution. And remember, when it comes to this stage here, the only way you can tell is when the square root is a negative. So now in this video, you're going to have one solution. So let's have a look at this here. So our normal routine is to quickly draw a rough sketch of what's going on. So this is when x is small, it wants to do this. So this here is a straight line, intercept of 4, a gradient of -12, so it's quite steep. Okay, and then well, when x is big, it wants to do x squared. So you just have to compromise. Well, this one here, I know I know it looks like this, but if we were to do this, well, you wouldn't know when you get given a quadratic. So you just have to guess it to be something like this, okay? And assume there are two solutions. You just have to guess. So let's just pretend there are two solutions and just follow it through. Okay, so normally if someone gives you any quadratic, ax squared plus bx plus c, okay, you well anyway, so here this would then this well you would do this and then get to this and then get to this and then get to this. Okay, now this I've explained this several times. So if you don't understand this, then watch some of the earlier videos. So here get to this stage here. This is a key stage. Okay, from this stage here, if you want to find out where the 2 points here lie, then you would put 0 into the y. And then from this key stage here, if you want to find out where the minimum point is, then you have to take this route here. Okay, this is why this stage here is so important. From here, you can go into two different directions. You can go in this direction here to find out these two, or you can go in this direction to find this point here. Okay, so let's go back to our original example. Our original example was this. Okay, so we've been given this here, and then you would basically try to I've just given you this here, and then you would try to somehow get to our key stage, get to this stage here. Okay, this is our key stage here. Get to this, and then we can investigate the 2 points here, and also we can investigate we can also investigate the minimum. Okay, well, in our case, it's going to be like this. But let's pretend we didn't know this. Okay, so here we've been given this quadratic here. Okay, so take 9 out as a factor. So you take 9 out as a factor, and when you come to multiply this, it will give you this. Okay, and the next step is oh yeah, next step you're going to need half of this. So you put it into, well, you square it, you complete the square here. So well, because you need half of this, this is why this is half. You see, from here to here, you basically you need half of this, so you divide it by 2, so it gets multiplied to the bottom. Again, if I'm going too fast, you have to watch some of the earlier videos, because I've explained this several times already. So then so from here, you're going to need half. So half here will take you to this, okay? And then you've got to take away some rubbish. Now, rather than me working out the rubbish, which is 1/4, which is this squared, and then this squared here, 18 squared, whatever that is. Rather than me having to work that out, I'm just going to say minus some rubbish. But the thing is, I know that these two I know that this fraction will simplify. So divide top and bottom here by, well, rather than me doing 12 squared, which is 144 over 18 times 18 here, and then later I'm going to have to time. So it's a lot of work. So because I know that this fraction can simplify, I would just say I'm going to take away some rubbish, whichever that rubbish is. I'm just going to leave it as this, but then simplify this first. Okay, then this here simplifies down to this. Now, then now I know. You see, this is a lot easier to work with than this. Okay, so here I know that I need to take away some rubbish. So it's going to be 2 times 2, which is 4, and then 3 times 3, which is 9. You see, it's a lot easier to work with. And then look at this. This fraction is exactly the same as this fraction here. So these two are going to kill off each other. Okay, so it's just like me doing this here, doing this. Well, it's like me doing this. Rather than me having curly brackets, I'm going to change this to square brackets. It looks neater. Hang on. I'm going to change it to square brackets. It just looks neater. So it's like this. Hang on. X minus 2 over 3, and then squared, and then this here, I could imagine as this, plus 0 here. Okay. Bear with me. So this is like this here. And then so this is a key stage here. Y equals this, and then from our key stage, we can go into 2 different directions now. If we want to investigate the roots, okay, hang on. If we want to investigate the 2 roots here, we would take this direction. If we want to investigate, the minimum, the lowest possible point here, then we would go in this direction. But let's go in this direction now, because we want to investigate we want to investigate where it crosses the x-axis. So you put 0 because we are going in this direction. You put 0 into the y here. So this would be 0 equals hang on, 0 equals 9, and then that thing inside there, whatever that is. Okay. Well, it's all these here. But then you would divide both sides by 9. So 0 divided by 9 gives you 0, and then you're going to have that thing in there. You're going to have this thing here, which is x minus 2 over 3 squared, and then, well, you don't need the 0, but I just want to put the 0 in there to illustrate this to you. Now there's nothing surrounding around here, so we can actually remove the squared brackets. So this becomes this. Okay, hang on. Becomes this. Now you don't need the 0 here, but I just want to illustrate this to you. So now you would you would take away 0 from both sides, which is this, which is just this. Okay, up, yep. Hang on, 3 here, and then squared here. Okay, now you would square root both sides. You see, normally when you have, let's say, a 5 over here, normally if you have a 5 over here, you would square root both sides, and then there are 2 solutions, plus and minus. But because it's a 0, when you take the square root, so let's say you're here at the moment, with the 0 here, you square root both sides, so it's like this, and then 2 over 3, yeah, you would square root this. Now it's pointless putting plus or minus out here, because the square root of 0, well, what's the square root of 0? You've got to think of 2 numbers when you multiply them together. Sorry, you got to find 2 numbers. When you multiply them together, gives you 0. Well, 0, it can only be 0. So it's pointless saying minus 0. Well, it's just going to be 0, because, well, yeah, it's going to be 0. So this thing here is plus or minus. This thing here is going to be 0 anyway. So it's going to be plus or minus 0. Hang on. So you would add this block to both sides. Okay, so this would be 2 over 3, and then plus or minus 0. What's the point of plussing or minusing 0? So here you can see there's only one solution, which is 2 over 3. There's only one solution because the square root here is 0. So when you get a square, when over here you get a square root of a minus a number, let's say 5, then you know you can't do it, so there's no solution. When you get a square root of 0, you can have a square root of 0, which is 0. But the thing is, it will come to this stage here, plus or minus 0, which you can really forget about. So there's only one solution, which is this. Okay, let's go back to our key stage here. Now look at this bit here. Now we want to investigate the minimum. So we know there's only one solution here, like this. Okay, and the minimum here is actually 0, because look at this here. Okay, so now when you get to your key stage here, you can go to the left where you investigate these two points, or you can go to the right and then you investigate this point here. If you want to investigate this point here, you would have to ask yourself, what is the lowest possible value for y? Well, the lowest possible value for y, even though there's a 9 here, is to make. This is our key stage here. This is our. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. So remember, you got to this stage here, and then these two merge together to give you 0. Okay. Now, when you get to your key stage here, ask yourself, what is the lowest possible value that y could be? Now, even though there's a 9 in here, if you make this thing here, what's inside here, to be its lowest possible value, then overall y will be at its lowest point. I know this, what I just said there is hard to grasp, but it's true. Now, so you are trying to concentrate on making this the smallest that this could be. Okay. Now, if you make this the smallest that could be, then the overall thing will be at its smallest. Hang on, and then concentrate on making this the smallest. You see, for you to make this, including the squared there, if you try to make this small, that's the same as you trying to make this small. Okay, so basically, make this 0. Well, if you make this 0, then the whole thing would be 0, because 0 plus 0. Well, basically, our point would be 0 here. Just by trying to think about this bit here, you probably don't understand this bit here. But if you might have to sit there and stare at this for about half an hour or something, and then you get a general idea. Well, anyway, by looking at this, it is possible to tell that the lowest possible value that y could be is actually 0. Okay.